The dual task cost test folder, which is what we'll start with, was designed for, independent older adults, essentially, because what you're going to see here, if, in the PT world, you'll be very familiar with some of the tests that we have in this folder. For example, when I go in, there's 3 subfolders, okay, that we can assess. Our lower extremity, which will house our sit to stands, okay, our gait folder, which will house the timed up and go shuttle, okay, you may be familiar with some of these test names, and the balance folder, which will house the 4-stage balance test, okay. So within each one of them, we'll have, a few options, and these options are there for us to choose the suitable physical test for who we're working with, right? We wouldn't want to give some user who, we wouldn't want to give a 60-second sit to stand test to somebody who's not able to perform that, right? So we'd want to do something suitable so we can tailor the physical component there by that choice. But also now when we choose the 30-second test or whatever test we choose, we have the level option for the cognitive difficulty, okay? Level 1 is easier, level 2 and 3 progressively get more challenging. So we wouldn't want to give a level 3 cognitive challenge to somebody who's, might not have the ability to perform a level 3. And you will know what is in each one of these through the videos here. So we'll maybe we're working with somebody who is able. So we've got a sit to stand 30-second level 3. Now, the flow of this test is the same for all of our dual task tests, right? There are 3 activities in each test. The first activity is always the physical only test, 30 seconds, physical only. The second test is always the cognitive only, seated, all right, just performing the cognitive task. And then the third test is always going to be the dual task test, performing the physical and the cognitive together. So here's what it looks like. So I guess we'll do play here. Yeah, that should be all right. So the physical only test, just performing the sit to stand 30 seconds. The player strikes the center target to record the number of reps on every standing phase. So only on the standing phase, that way we can get an accurate reading of how many stands they performed and sits, and we'll get our result there. The second test will be, looks like I'll have to do it our modified way. The second test will be our cognitive only test, meaning seated position, all right, for the 30 seconds, playing the cognitive challenge, which is ABCs. Now we're skipping a letter because this is level 3, so we got to make it challenging. So they're skipping a letter each time. They're hitting A, then C, then E, and so forth. What we're getting here is score. We're getting reaction time, accuracy, correct strikes, incorrect strikes. We're getting a lot of data for the cognitive component. Now we're going to compare both of those results independently to the dual task cost test, right? Where we do our sit to stand, 30 seconds. We strike one target on every standing phase so that we can compare the result to, so we can compare the physical only to the dual task to see how many less reps we made. And also the cognitive, all right? We're gonna be seeing the score, the reaction time, and to see what cost there was of performing the cognitive task like this versus the single task. When that's all said and done, we will generate a report, okay? And we have a report recall here that I'm gonna be generating. But essentially, when you actually play the test and you finish it, you will have a report automatically come up. We'll have the option to generate it right there after the test is done. If that wasn't preferred, then you can generate the report like I am here in the build tab to see the actual PDF itself. And so that's what we're going to see now. And the PDF is going to show, of course, who played the test. We're going to see in the first physical only test, we had 12 repetitions. On the cognitive only, you can see here we got, excuse me, we had a score of 55 points, 85% accuracy, reaction time, 2.88 seconds, how many strikes we made. And then the dual task, we can see we had less points. We had a slight increase in our accuracy, but a significant slowdown in our reaction time and less total strikes and less physical repetitions. The percentages at the bottom of the page will show the decline, okay? So we'll see how big of a decline there was. Remember, this is a baseline, so this is our starting point, okay? So we had a minus 25%, okay, a plus 5% in our accuracy, but a decline in the remaining percentages. We'll be able to compare that in just a second. What will happen is after we get this information, we'll have suggestions. All right, remember, we're going to be suggested about which pre-designed programs we should start to utilize to improve the results of the test that we just played. So this test is focused on lower extremity strength. So the number 1 there, we're getting pointed to a folder, a strength folder. So we'll be running strength programs to improve our physical performance. But also the cognitive test was focused on attention. All right, that was the cognitive test. It was an attention test. So we're going to be pointed to our attention folder in the pre-designed programs. So once we're pointed there, we're going to be playing in the play tab. Oh, let me go back here. We're going to be running our programs in the play tab. Okay, looking at independent. First, we're going to run our physical strength programs. So going in here and running these programs for a few weeks. The strength programs are, they're going to have a set of exercises in each one. All right, we're going to run through these for a few weeks. We can do our level 3 programs, which are harder. We can run our level 2 programs maybe to start and then progress our way to level 3. And we're the whole time we're going to be generating reports for this information too. And then maybe right afterwards, we're going to be also working on our cognitive, all right, programs. And we were pointed to the attention folder in the report. So this is just the folder for the program for the attention. So we're going to work on both of these programs for a few weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is usually suggested. And then at some point, we'll come back to this test tab. We'll redo this test and we'll generate a new report to see if the work we've done has contributed to an improvement on these tests, or we'll be able to see if maybe there wasn't an improvement or to what degree that improvement was made.